watching 25 News Now Sunrise, now streaming on crossroadstoday.com. Mark Zuckerberg takes the witness stand today in a landmark case. The Facebook CEO facing questions about whether social media deliberately targets children with addictive features. And early voting starting now for the March 3rd primaries. Polls open weekdays, Saturday and Sunday. Find out the location and the times. Plus, the final report is out on the deadly Washington, D.C. mid-air collision that killed 67 people, what the NTSB is blaming for the tragedy.
And if you're a fan of that warm spring weather, we have a whole lot more of that coming away for the rest of this week, with highs back in the mid-80s before a cold front gets here. And we'll talk about all that in the weather coming up.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning, Crossroads, and welcome to your Ash Wednesday.
Your Ash Wednesday. You know,
that's right.
We are halfway through the week already. Actually, more than halfway through the month, too.
That's right. February is flying by,
yeah, so feels like maybe I'm going crazy. It just feels like it's flying by right now.
It's all right, Parker. Just stand, look around, enjoy yourself, and savor your health.
Yeah.
All your blessings, and be thankful.
Yeah. Well, I am not at all complaining about the time flying by, because with time flying by, that means we are closer and closer to spring, my favorite season, because it's always nice out there. And this morning, let me tell y'all something. It is oh so nice outside. Y'all go outside and have your breakfast out there, because it is 68 degrees right now in Victoria County. Temperatures are 1 degree warmer in the city, 69 right now. That's in Victoria city limits right now, and it's 6:30 in the morning on your February 18th. So y'all get out there and enjoy that. Definitely not supposed to be this warm. Dew point is 4 degrees off. 87% is our humidity because of our winds out of the west-northwest. Right now there is, technically speaking, we're going to call it a boundary, because it's not a cool front, it's not a warm front, it's not a dry line. We're just going to call it a boundary. It's right about here where the winds are shifting, and that's why there's no fog out there this morning. I was thinking there might be some, but temperatures have not fallen down to the dew point enough for fog. So don't need to worry about any of that if you're heading out the door, or if you're sitting your kiddos. They also don't need a jacket. We're going to be warm all day long. Those details next.
The founder of a social media giant is expected in court today. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio gives us a preview ahead of the trial.
This morning, Mark Zuckerberg set to take the witness stand. The man in charge of Facebook and Instagram will face questions under oath about whether his social media platform deliberately targets children with addictive design features. A 20-year-old woman who's also suing YouTube claims the apps hooked her with features like instant notifications, autoplay, and infinite scrolling, which she claims caused her depression and suicidal thoughts. She began using social media at the age of 6. Some legal analysts say jurors may have a tough time buying her argument.
They're pointing at KGM, that's the name for the 19-year-old who's the plaintiff in this case. They're pointing at KGM and saying, yes, there could be some negative things about social media, but let's talk about her. There was already issues with her, and that's what caused a lot of the mental and physical issues that she's arguing with, not social media.
Defense attorneys are trying to prove the plaintiff had mental health struggles before using their apps, and they say the companies have invested in safeguards and new policies to protect children. An Instagram executive testified last week that keeping teens safe is in the company's financial interest, saying, quote, "It's really hard to imagine any instance where prioritizing safety isn't good for revenue." This will be Zuckerberg's first testimony in court on the potential dangers of social media.
I think that there are harms that we need to work to mitigate.
He's previously testified before Congress in 2024 when he addressed parents who said their children were exploited or harmed online.
TikTok and Snapchat were also sued in this case, but already settled. The trial is expected to last through March and could determine how hundreds of similar lawsuits play out. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Early voting is now underway in Victoria and across the state. Early voting for the March 3rd primaries runs through Friday, February 27th, with Election Day on Tuesday, March 3rd. Polls are open from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. weekdays through next Friday, and 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. this Saturday, and 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. on Sunday. Early voting takes place at the Dr. Petty Dotson Public Health Center. And here's a look at early voting numbers from Tuesday. 305 people voted in person in Victoria County. I was one of them. And they mailed out 1,134 ballots, but have yet to receive any back. In Victoria County, there are 56,997 registered voters. Polls open today at 8 a.m. The National Transportation Safety Board released its final report on the mid-air collision over Washington, D.C. that killed 67 people in January of 2025. Probable causes include FAA flight paths too close to runway approaches, over-reliance on visual separation and high workload, and limits of traffic alert systems. The FAA has restricted helicopter flights around Reagan and is evaluating nationwide changes. The NTSB issued several recommendations. Now to the Nancy Guthrie kidnapping. Here's ABC's Sophie Flay with more on the first test results on crucial DNA evidence.
This morning, a forensic setback in the search for Today Show host Savannah Guthrie's mother, Nancy.
That family is suffering. They are hurting.
DNA recovered from a glove found 2 miles from Guthrie's home did not match samples in the FBI's national database. Another sample of DNA found on Guthrie's property is still undergoing analysis, but did not match DNA on the glove.
DNA is not as straightforward as it is on television and in movies, and so it depends on how much of it there is, what sort of shape it's in.
Investigators will now extend the DNA search beyond their criminal database and into private family genealogy data from across the country, saying, "We believe that we may have some DNA there that may be our suspect." Nancy Guthrie is 84 and has a pacemaker. It disconnected shortly after she was taken from her home early on February 1st. ABC News has learned searchers have been using a technology called Bluefly, which can detect potential signals from pacemakers. They've been using the technology during drone, helicopter, and ground searches. Investigators say they have no new evidence that Guthrie was targeted because of her high-profile daughter, but the sheriff says he does not think this was a random crime.
Targeted kidnapping.
Yes, I believe whoever did that knew what they were up to.
So do you believe
knew who they were after?
He says the best evidence they have is video from Guthrie's doorbell camera. The suspect in the video was armed. The FBI has been visiting gun shops in Tucson, asking about any suspicious customers or any sales of a holster like the one seen in the video. They're also trying to track down the sale of the backpack he was carrying, which may have been purchased at a Walmart. Sophie Flay, ABC News, New York.
Longtime civil rights leader Reverend Jesse Jackson died Tuesday at 84. He rose to prominence in the civil rights era, marching alongside Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. and ran for the Democratic presidential nomination twice. He had been hospitalized in November and lived with progressive supranuclear palsy and Parkinson's. No cause of death is confirmed. For more local news, weather, and sports, come to CrossroadsToday.com. And it is 6:37 on our Wednesday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up next on 25 News Now Sunrise. 3,000 flags need planting, and organizers say they need volunteers. We'll have more.
Diplomatic talks continue between the U.S. and Iran. I'm Nicole D'Antonio in Washington with the details as the U.S. continues to build up its military in the region.
And also coming up next after the break in the short-term forecast, it might be warm out there now, but we're going to be even warmer later today. So coming up next, we'll look at how high those temperatures will get near you.
For a growing number of people in our community, nighttime doesn't mean sleep. It means survival. 25 News Now reporter Trenton Whiting takes a closer look at homelessness here at home, the challenges people face every day, and what's being done to help.
Being able to go take a shower and rest and good to go to work the next day and be comfortable without having to go to work dirty, that'd be awesome.
Life without a home. Thursday at 10 p.m.
Well, good morning, Crossroads, and happy Weather Wednesday. Well, I guess it's safe to say we got lucky. We didn't have any fog out there this morning. As you can see, the visibility map is still showing. Oh, look, speak of that, it just changed on me. 7 miles now being reported over by Wharton, but that's still like little to nothing out there in terms of fog. All that is thanks to, like I was talking about earlier, there is technically speaking a type of boundary that is pushing over us right now. It's not a cool front, it's not a warm front, and it's not a dry line. It's more of like an outflow boundary from a low system that's way up in North Texas. But you can kind of see it's right about here. That's why there's a little bit of mixing in the air for us not to see fog this morning. But I think there will be fog for tomorrow, Thursday morning, Friday morning and Saturday morning. Thursday morning, we'll be looking at some patchy fog around the area, kind of in some spots, just kind of scattered around. But for Friday and Saturday morning, I think those mornings are going to have a better chance at being some dense, thick fog. So stay safe definitely on those mornings. Now, if there is any fog out there right now whatsoever, it's going to burn down to some cloudy skies for the morning time. Here's 9 a.m. Noontime looking mostly cloudy, and the rest of the afternoon we'll look at partly cloudy skies. And with the sun coming out, that will warm us up. So by 9 a.m., looking at upper 60s, noontime upper 70s, and the afternoon we'll get high temperatures up to the low 80s around the area. And if that's not warm enough, the next few days we're going to keep getting warmer before a cold front gets here this weekend. And we'll talk about that next.
Now to the latest talks between the U.S. and Iran in Geneva. ABC's Nicole D'Antonio is in Washington with the details as the U.S. continues to build up its military in the region.
This morning, the latest round of nuclear talks in Geneva between the U.S. and Iran have ended without a major breakthrough. Vice President J.D. Vance says the talks made some progress, but that the Iranians have not agreed to all of President Trump's red lines when it comes to their nuclear program.
It's one of the most hostile and also one of the most irrational regimes in the world. You can't have people like that have the most dangerous weapon known to man. It would be awful for our security. It would be awful for the future of our children.
The Trump administration is seeking a deal to limit Iran's nuclear program and ensure it does not develop nuclear weapons. The supreme leader of Iran saying it's not pursuing weapons and has so far resisted demands that it halt uranium enrichment on its soil. The talks come amid a U.S. military buildup in the region with a second U.S. carrier strike group now en route. President Trump has threatened military action if Iran doesn't compromise. In a rare show of force Tuesday, Iran announced the temporary closure of the Strait of Hormuz for live fire drills. The waterway is a crucial international trade route through which 20% of the world's oil passes. It's the first time that Iran has closed parts of the strait since the U.S. began threatening Iran with military action.
Also in Geneva, talks between the U.S., Russia, and Ukraine are expected to resume today. President Trump is warning Ukraine to make a deal with Russia fast, but key differences remain over land. Nicole D'Antonio, ABC News, Washington.
Warriors Weekend Field of Honor are needing volunteers to plant flags. Colonel Mike Petrosh says anyone that volunteers with the field will feel like family. The Field of Honor is planning to plant 3,000 flags.
My contributions, it's not for any kind of reward or anything, but I can tell you it just feels good to make sure that other Americans are being treated with honor and respect and the dignity they deserve.
The Field of Honor organizers say anyone of any age can donate their time to honor a veteran. For the latest on what's happening in Hollywood, here's ABC's Melissa Adan.
A week after he headlined the Super Bowl halftime show, Bad Bunny has the #1 song in America. DTMF, the title track of his current album, tops the Billboard Hot 100, while 3 more of his songs are in the top 10. Get ready for the best of both worlds. The Hannah Montana 20th anniversary special debuts on Disney Plus March 24th. Filmed in front of a live audience, the special features an in-depth interview with Miley Cyrus, unseen archival footage, and more. Disney is the parent company of ABC News.
Get over here.
After releasing his protest song Streets of Minneapolis, Bruce Springsteen is traveling there March 31st with the E Street Band to launch the Land of Hope and Dreams tour. The tour wraps up May 27th at Nationals Park in Washington, D.C. In a statement, the boss said, "We will be rocking your town in celebration and in defense of America." And happy birthday to John Travolta. The Grease and Saturday Night Fever star turned 72 today. And that's what's happening in Hollywood. Melissa Adan, ABC News.
It's now 6:45 on our Wednesday morning. Still to come on Sunrise, volunteer fire departments in Victoria County get a major boost. How recent restructuring leads to better equipment. All right, it's time to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Kelly. Wishing you a happy birthday on your journey. Love from all your friends.
And I want to wish a very special happy birthday to my mom. Her name is Michelle. Mom, I miss you, and I hope I get to come up and see y'all in Dallas sometime soon. But until then, have an awesome birthday. Thanks for being the coolest, most fun, loving mom in the world. Love you, Mom.
And happy birthday to Yvette. Happy birthdays, Mom. I love you beyond words for all the support and love you've given me and friends.
And Yvette is our birthday cake winner today. Congratulations. Just head over to Sweet Fountains Bakery to pick that up. And we want to wish a royalty a happy 4th birthday. Oh, look at that picture. We love you to the moon and back. We love you from Dad, Grandma, Nanny, Eugene, and all your cousins. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, you can come to crossroadstoday.com. Just click the drop-down menu, then click the Home tab, and then you'll see Submit Your Birthday Photo.
It's now 6:46 on our Wednesday morning. Happy birthday to Angela and to Dee Dee, and happy birthday to you if you're celebrating one today.
That's right. Happy birthday, y'all. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. Once again, if you're just like me and you like the warm weather, we've got plenty of that coming our way, so you've got nothing to worry about until this weekend, because we have a cold front coming and that'll make it a little bit chilly again, a little bit. You'll see that in a second. 81 is going to be our high today. Looking at your almanac for Victoria, that's going to be 11 degrees above where we're supposed to be this time of year. Average high on your February 18th is 70 degrees. Average low is 48. Tonight and into tomorrow, Thursday morning, we'll be about 17 degrees above that. Looking for 65 degrees tomorrow morning. Our record low on this day is 21 degrees back in 1910. Record high, 90 degrees back in 1986. Thankfully, we're not going to be that hot just yet. It is still February, to which we're actually looking at February weather coming our way. Next week, highs and lows are back to right around average. You just saw it. 70 is the average high, 48 is the average low. We're looking for low temperatures dropping to the low 40s, maybe upper 30s in our northern counties, but definitely no freezes. Can guarantee y'all that. Going into this weekend, that's thanks to this cold front that'll be here Saturday around noontime. It'll be breezy for the weekend time, gusts 25 to 30 miles an hour, and high temperatures will drop right there, down into the upper 60s and low 70s. But there's a low rain chance, 20% on that low, because this low system right here that's bringing us the front coming off of the northern Rockies instead of the south, where there's more Pacific moisture. We'll talk about all that more later on Sunrise.
Many of the volunteer fire departments inside Victoria County are now better equipped to fight fires thanks to a recent equipment donation. Due to the recent restructuring of the Victoria County Fire Marshal's office, which made each volunteer fire department in the county its own separate entity, the County Fire Marshal's office was left with quite a bit of equipment that was no longer needed. Fire Marshal Dan Porter said there was only one sensible solution to the problem.
That equipment, like I said, was just sitting around. Wasn't being maintained, wasn't being used for anything. So we felt that it was best to get with all the volunteer departments around the county and see who needed what.
The equipment included tanker trucks, Kubota tractors, and brush trucks. The volunteer fire departments received the equipment include Lone Tree, Raisin, and the Victoria County Volunteer Fire Department. Now to an industry skyrocketing in popularity, prediction markets. ABC's Lionel Moyes explains.
This morning, a battle over regulating prediction markets, which allow Americans to bet on everything from elections to the weather to sporting events to what outfit a celebrity will wear.
And we've rolled out a new prediction markets hub.
Popularity surging. One platform, Kalshi, says more than $1 billion was traded on the Super Bowl.
Kalshi lets you legally trade on anything, anywhere in the U.S.
And now the Trump administration is moving to prevent states from regulating these markets.
Over the past year, American prediction markets have been hit with an onslaught of state-led litigation.
Michael Seelig, chair of the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, says only the federal government has jurisdiction to regulate these types of markets and has done so for decades. Critics disagree, claiming these markets are nothing more than gambling.
Historically, gambling has always been regulated at a state level, You have state lotteries, you have different choices by states to allow sports betting or not, or casinos or not.
Prediction markets have been under scrutiny with concerns about people profiting from insider trading.
What would be some of the benefits of this being regulated at the state level versus federally?
The head of the CFTC lives in Washington, D.C., and he is not, next to people in Arizona who are addicted to their phone and are draining their life savings. But the legislators in Arizona are near that person, and so they're more likely to see that harm. And you saw this with things like opioids. It was the states that moved first because they saw it up front.
Utah's governor claims the prediction markets are destroying the lives of families and countless Americans, especially young men. But Seelig argues the growth of these markets proves Americans want them, and he says regulations are in place to protect people. This issue could be of interest to the White House. President Trump's son, Don Jr., is an advisor for one prediction market platform, and a prediction betting marketplace is also being launched on Truth Social. Lionel Moyes, ABC News, New York.
Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. Victoria's new public safety headquarters opens its doors. The City of Victoria's new public safety headquarters is now open to the public. The facility serves as a centralized location for the police department, bringing key public safety services under one roof. The municipal court is also now fully operating out of the new facility. In addition, the fire department administration has officially relocated to the headquarters, and they're located at 2525 North Main Street. It's been more than 17 days after Nancy Guthrie vanished. Pima County says DNA from a glove found about 2 miles from her home produced no matches. Investigators are now pursuing partial DNA recovered at her residence using genetic genealogy, though officials won't say where in the house it was found. The sheriff's office and the FBI are following thousands of leads. A New Mexico ranch owned by the late sex offender Jeffrey Epstein is under the microscope of lawmakers in the state. New Mexico's House has approved the creation of a bipartisan special committee to investigate the property. The measure passed with no opposition on Monday. It directs the panel to look into allegations of criminal activity on the property known as Zorro Ranch. The committee will also decide whether other action by lawmakers is required. Epstein bought the ranch in 1993 and sold it in 2023. And now let's get a final look at our forecast with Parker.
Well, our sunrise this morning is looking not so sunrisey. It's because we got, look at that, all sorts of cloud cover over us this morning. So if you're heading out the door, you will need your sunglasses. That'll be for the afternoon hours because the clouds that you see over us right now, those will be on the decrease all day long. And that's when it's going to start warming our temperatures up. But if it's this morning it's already kind of warm if you ask me. 67 degrees right now in Victoria. Temperatures are about 1 to 2 degrees warmer in the city. 69 right there to start the day in Victoria city limits. And everyone this morning is about the same. Looking at upper 60s to start the day on your February 18th. So I think that's safe enough to say no need for a jacket, and you won't need it all day long because we'll get up to 78 in Port Lavaca underneath a slightly breezy southerly wind on the coast. Inland counties not as breezy, but warmer, 81 for the high, and warmer in Cuero, 82 today. So enjoy that warmer spring weather because that will be with us all week long until that cold front gets here on Saturday. And then we're right back to the 60s for the daytime and 40s for the morning.
All right, thank you, Parker, and thank you all for being with us this morning. Be sure to join Shauna, Don, Maclovio, and Max today for 25 News Now at 5, 6, and 10. Have a great day.